Good evening. Welcome to the 5-8, where we discuss each of the week's 5 most fucked up topics for 8 minutes. 5 topics, 8 minutes, 2 hosts, no guests, some singing, a lot of curse words, and as many cocktails as we deem necessary. And tonight, you deemed it necessary.
I deemed it necessary tonight, everybody.
Yeah.
You're
You know
having
what that means? It's going to be a good show.
I'm having a skinny vodka tonic.
I
don't normally drink, actually, at any time during the week. But
this is the weekend. I mean, colloquially, maybe not technically. Let's not like that. I don't like when people say things like, well, technically, the 19th century ends in 1900. Is not.
Oh, I
hate that stuff. Don't with
scolds, the intellect.
Actually, the 21st century started in 2001. It's like, yeah, we know, and we don't care. We don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about that at all. I don't care.
We do want a shared reality, though. I'm ready for that to return.
Shared reality would be nice. Rules would be nice.
Yeah.
Law.
So, the law.
I don't even know what that means.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't think they know. I think we're just learning it together. We're just winging it at this point. We're just winging it
with the FBI
mm-hmm.
and the Acting Attorney General. Yeah.
There was a great piece in the Ringer today by Brian Phillips talking about Koff Patel, who we'll talk about later. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, like how the worst shopping mall in your town sells a T-shirt that says FBI female body inspector. Koff Patel is like if someone who thought that shirt was funny and bought it is now running the FBI.
Yeah.
That's basically it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I can't top that. So I went down to New York on Wednesday.
You did. I know. How did that go? You announced it last week.
I announced it.
I know that you had some 5-8ers in attendance.
We had some 5-8ers in attendance. It was very nice to see people
nice.
there. I'd never met Nina in person, so that was fun.
This is the Nina Burley book.
This is Nina Burley book, which I have here. I'm just going to show you the book so you can see it. There it is. It was fun. It was just a good time. So I'm glad I went. I'm glad people showed up. I totally screwed up. I didn't screw it up. I had it running, going live, and it just stopped working.
The live broadcast. Yeah,
the live broadcast stuff. I feel like I'm being censored. We should sue somebody. Let's sue the IRS. The censoring me. We'll sue Brendan Carr at the FCC.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just keep a hold of that grievance, and someday, maybe someone will be in office and be able to award you $1.2 billion for your grievance.
It would be 1.4. The It's okay. It's okay. What's $200 million a month?
What's $200 million? Yeah.
So I was thinking we were talking about we're having our production meeting earlier today.
Yes.
And so we don't have a guest. So
talking during the week as we do.
Yeah. And usually when we do the show, we do one of two things during the segments. We either have a take, right, where we're just like, I think this, or we're trying to convey something that we learn that we think is important. Those are kind of the two things.
Yeah.
This week, we have no takes and we have nothing to offer. So,
nothing.
We're talking through things because we found ourselves all week trying to grasp what's happening now and trying to put perspective on it and failing, I guess. So we thought that maybe if we do this with drinks and live, maybe we'd have better luck.
I think it's going to at least be an interesting conversation. I don't think we're alone. I feel like this is the state of the sort of national psychosis that we're all careening our way through. And we've reached the state of, I'm not sure there's any value to pay attention. It feels like not paying attention is actually the more valuable thing to do when it comes towards pushing, resisting. But pretty soon we won't have that luxury. So let's relish in it and have our cocktails and enjoy.
I think that's it. It all comes back to Casablanca. This is what they do in Casablanca when they're waiting for the bad stuff to come. They just finish all the champagne.
Finish all the champagne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just going to finish all the champagne. This sherry is a Manhattan. I went. This is another thing. Last night or on Wednesday, I had a Manhattan, and someone said, "What are you having?" And I said, "I'm having a Manhattan because I'm in Manhattan." As if I only have a Manhattan when I'm in Manhattan. Little did they know. It's a state of mind. Little did they know. Mm-hmm.
It's a New York state of mind. Okay.
Little did they know. All right.
Let's get into it, even though we don't know how long the show is going to go. Full disclosure, Greg's not feeling all too well. Full disclosure, I'm freezing. It's cold where I live. It got cold again this week, and wet, wet, wet. Endless rain, endless mist, and spitting and wet, and that spring yuck. And it's cold, and it's in my bones, and I can't get it out. So this is we also have a whole physical thing going on. So we're gonna let's boogie through this. Let's boogie.
We're gonna boogie, but we're gonna,
we're gonna try to figure out
we're gonna explore. We're gonna stretch around. The idea is by the end of the show, we want to have achieved some better level of understanding of what the fuck is going on.
Right. All right. Let's start with money plunder.
That might be more ambitious than we realize. Now that I've said it out loud.
By the end of the show, we'll figure out what this show is, and that for tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the first topic is it's a low bar, like the bar that Kosh Patel and Pete Hegseth drink at.
Yeah, it's true.
So I can't wrap my brain around this. We all know this guy Trump. He's just cheats and he steals and everything is a grift. We know this. He's always been like this. You've been reading about this guy for decades. It's just, this is who he is. He is a grifting son of a bitch who only cares about that. And there's something pathologically wrong with him, of which we'll get to that later. But there's levels of grift. And I feel like the American people and the media certainly have become accustomed to a certain level of grift at this point. We expect that they're going to do something. Like I read that people in the state of Florida are suing Trump because someone's giving him the land to build what he calls a library, but it is actually a hotel in Miami. And they were saying, oh, it's a violation of the emoluments clause. And I literally started laughing when I read it. I was like, emoluments clause. Now we're going to talk about the emoluments. Yeah. It's crazy, right? But this thing that he's doing with the IRS is so next level that it's straight up plunder. And just to explain for people that don't know, there was a whistleblower type person who worked at the IRS and who got a job at the IRS as a contractor just to go get Trump's taxes. And he did. And he released Trump's taxes to the New York Times and to ProPublica and whatever. And they figured out who he was, and he got arrested, and he is now in jail. Little John is his last name. His name is literally Little John. Anyway, because simulation, right?
Simulation.
So Trump, years later, who's promised to release his taxes for 20 years now or something, this audit that's going on forever at the IRS, which probably isn't happening, now says, well, I have suffered because of reputational harm to me because of this IRS disclosure, and is suing the IRS for some billions of dollars. $10 billion. $10 billion.
Maybe more, but that's what they're going to pay him. Right.
Yeah. So
our money, $10 billion of our money.
Now the judge is going to throw this case out. The judge is, if it goes further, the judge is going to be like, yeah, this is bullshit. Fuck you. Goodbye. And they know this. Okay. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to settle. They're trying to arrive at a settlement whereby Trump will withdraw the suit in exchange for something. I've been saying this for a little while. We're just going to pay him a big fat check. I said it this morning on the video, big fat check. Now it turns out we have a figure for the big fat check. It's $1.4 billion, billion with a B, that he's going to put into a weaponization fund, so-called, And what they're going to do is they're going to use this money, whatever part of it Trump doesn't steal, to reimburse other people who have been wronged by the government, like J6 people. And I guess this Tina Peters person who got her sentence commuted for reasons unbeknownst to me today. And I don't know, Enrico Torres, Torrio, these guys, anybody who feels
anybody's
wronged,
got the goods on him.
Basically that, yes. It's basically a slush fund. And the way they're writing about it is, well, critics of the proposals say, fuck, New York Times. This is not, everyone is a critic of the proposal, Critics of the proposal say, well, taking all the money out of the bank and throwing it into your own van and driving away, is the van gas powered? Because they could really use an electric vehicle and save. It's just, it's just ridiculous. And our response to it is ridiculous. And I cannot wrap my brain around this. This is fucking straight up theft. It's theft from you and me and everybody in the United States watching this who pays taxes. He's literally going to steal $1.4 billion of his taxes. And he's not even going to keep it for himself. He's going to give it to the worst people in the country.
Well, they do have a lot of shit on their hands. They took their own shit and spread it around like monkeys. And I'm sorry, what do you expect the president in the diaper to do? Right?
When we were talking before, you called him a diapered pirate.
I don't remember that.
I wrote it down because it's too good.
Yeah, okay, the diapered pirate.
Mm-hmm.
But what it was. Oh God, we could come up with a lot of.
Yeah.
But
piracy. I mean, pirates are. He's stealing from his own people. Is the thing. It's really just a. I don't even know what the analog is. Like, I guess it's like an Imperial Rome thing, but even then, it wasn't. The treasury of Rome wasn't used exclusively by the emperor. The emperor owned Egypt, and all of that money came out of Egypt. The emperor could use for himself, but not all of it, not all of the treasury.
There's got to be an example in Russian lore because, this is a troll as well. There's a type of trolling that is gaslighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where
it
pleases him, it and his people. They're getting tremendous sort of troll pleasure, whatever that is, that sadistic sort of, look at you, you're so upset. And I'm not stealing, I'm owed this. And I do think he is such a, suffers all these narcissistic injuries on the regular and has all these grievances piling up. And, it's just a constant bitch fest, sorry for using the word, and crybabiness to him. Right? Like it just like, hurt my feelings, or that shouldn't have been that way. If he gets caught, if there's a consequence, those are injuries to this guy. That's how he experiences them, and he wants to be compensated for that. And he's very prissy about it. He's very fancy and special about it. It's just a tiptoe through the grievance tulips is what it is. I'm sorry, it is. And so it's there's something so precious about giving him this money and making him feel like he got it, from the people who made him wrong. But it's like, you mean the government? It's just that. It's just that. It's also just about, and I'm going to gaslight you about me putting my thumb in your eye, right, with my poop on it. That's what it is. Giving us pink eye. He's giving us fucking pink eye. That's what he does. That's what he's doing to the nation.
Oh my God. When he's not busy capitulating to the Chinese, because capitulating to the Russians wasn't enough.
Did you see that bow to Xi? He's like all the way bent over
the vassal kings have to do.
I know that's Japanese, but oh my God, he was like a vassal
king,
hired worker,
or somebody who spent a lot of time with Roy Cohn in at parties.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
like he
that.
knows the right posture to take.
It was
And
bad.
as
That's such
horrifying
a
as he
bad
is,
look for a
he's
president. Oh
our
my God.
guy. He represents us.
Ah,
And it's so humiliating. So very humiliating. So I don't know. Anyway, I just
what do
wanted to talk through the plunder because it's so extreme. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Well, no, but it's also not being talked about as for what it is. So
Right.
we're
Right.
also being gaslit, and we'll get to that
Yeah.
in a second.
Oh,
But
God, yeah.
it's just this gaslighting is just it's insane, as if it,
Yeah.
and it's so bad because it's like a bad, easy, stupid fart joke, right? It's being sold to us as if it's fucking Elizabethan prose. I mean, it's just I can't handle it. I can't. I really have a strong reaction, and I just tune out because I don't take anybody seriously. That's in a legacy media anymore. These are just not serious people. This is not a serious moment. It's a very, very dangerous time, and we're really on the precipice. And it's a fucking clown show. Like it's just and like people who know better, every single one of them knows better. Every single one of them knows better. And when you try to even broach that, right? Or they can feel any realm of integrity of their former selves trying to peek through and come through and do an actual job, the gaslighting begins. The normalization is the front loaded of it, part of it, and then the gaslighting comes in if anyone's even challenging the normalization. It's something else. I can't.
We'll talk about the media.
I gotta take a
We'll
drink.
talk about the media later. All right. Moving on.
I gotta calm down. Okay. All right, we're moving on.
We want to talk about who these people are because
oh God,
what's happened now is we've entered a new phase of things, or we've been entering the phase for some time, but now we're in the phase. Like I don't know when the age of Aquarius started exactly, but we're in it now. All right,
the age of oligarchy.
Yeah, it's the same fucking thing. Okay, as the astrologers will tell you, it's the same. It's the same thing. Brain, no heart, just all brain and answers and theoretical bullshit. So, and you wanted to talk about this and kind of like just examine, put the pin through these butterflies and put them up on the wall and examine what it is that we're dealing with here, what these men, because they're all men, have in common, what they want ultimately, why they have to have so much fucking money and not use the money for anything remotely good or altruistic or anything like that.
I mean, I just listen. It's kind of tough to talk about this without getting really real, And I feel like there's a reactivity that can happen if we're going to really be blunt and honest about who these tech oligarchs primarily are. Especially the American ones, our own brand of those, or the South African ones that showed up, but they're American. I guess I don't know. Is Elon Musk actually? Did he just have resident visa? What the fuck is he? I don't even know.
Elon Musk is the same level of American citizen as Melania Trump. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. So anyway, the ones we have in terms of we built them up here, being America and the American economy and this sort of, whatever we are for capitalism, enabled these men to become multi-billionaires, multi-billionaires, and fast tracking them now because it's exponential growth with the money to becoming the first trillionaires. It's a lot to really fathom that amount of money for in the hands of concentrated into just a handful, literally handful of individuals. So, look, I have neurodiversity. There's neurodiversity throughout my family. We need to talk about the kinds of the functional brains and hearts and the neurology of these guys. It's important. It's important because even for those of us who are or have loved ones who are neurodiverse, this is its own sort of, there's something that happens for certain, I guess you have a personality cluster meets a neurology, sort of a footprint. And I think it's pretty easy and clear to identify. We've got in these techno oligarchs a total lack of, not just a lack of empathy, but no pathways, no neurological way to get to it for them. They have a different brain. Now, I don't know that it began that way, any different than mine or anyone else with neurodiversity. I do think that there's a thing that the environment and our society it has done to influence the sort of worn in grooves of with this sort of reward system that they've gotten by the wealth. Right. And the accumulation.
So, sociopathy is rewarded in capitalist society.
Sociopathy is rewarded, nurtured, grown. I know that even and we'll get to sort of this topic, but there's now coming out with studies about how dangerous ChatGPT is for narcissists and folks with certain personality disorders, because it literally makes it worse. It gives absolutely the worst advice if they try to use it for therapy, which many of them do. It's just navel gazing and it's just reinforcing stuff. And it does push and make the brain form in a very specific direction that is very dangerous if that individual also happens to be on track of having $1 trillion and have their puppet strings around the throat of the president of the United States. So I just, watching them all get on that plane and head to China and even listening to Kevin O'Leary talk about, his Utah data center fantasy, which is apparently coming true. These tens of thousands of square miles, larger than the city of Manhattan, for this AI data center, this thing that they're all in, right? This thing. And that combination of all of those things, I had a little light bulb moment because of how many folks on the spectrum, specifically male, I know and have known. There's a certain thing, like a competitive thing that happens around intellect. It's kind of see it in the youth of certain young men, and then they grow out of it, but maybe they don't. And it's this whole idea of being smart. I saw this with my in-laws; it was a big thing, and in my husband's family, it's just everything was boiled down to how intelligent you were, what your IQ was, how smart you were you clever enough? It was like this. It was their dick measuring game, right? And it was tied in with all of these insecurities that never got acknowledged, other than you just couldn't not be smart. You couldn't. You had to be smart. It was existential. And if someone could be a genius, they're the genius, right? And this fascination, this whole thing with intelligence, it's a real fixation. It's a real fixation in a competitive way, because there's an insecurity. Now, my understanding of that, coming from therapists and specialists who specialize in this, but also my own sort of interpretation, direct experience, is that particular disposition, that need to be smart and not be seen as dumb and be the smartest one. And I'm the genius and you're the genius. I'm the genius. I'm going to study genius. I'm going to genius. I might have a code name genius. Everything's going to be genius. That whole thing in my understanding, comes from, yes, these are smart folks. We're all, and people who aren't neurodiverse, very, very bright too, capable of being. I'm going to keep going on this, guys. It should have been. But just to get through this thought so that we can really talk about it for what it is. It's this need to have that is like, and not be wrong and not make a mistake and not is coming from not understanding, being in a state, especially as a child, of not understanding what the fuck is going on ever socially in social dynamics, right? But understanding how I can take this train apart and put it back together and make it go around even faster, right? Or whatever the special skill or special thought is. I can train, this animal to do all these different, like whatever the special focus for the neurodiverse person is. This is all very concentrated in one particular what's called autism 1 now. It used to be called Asperger's, but Asperger's doesn't even exist. It's autism 1. Okay. So what Elon Musk professes to have and to be. So that there's a feeling of like, because you can't follow, it's hard to follow, and the other kids are following along and they're laughing and people seem to know what's going on. The experience for those children is that they're dumb. They feel like they're dumb. That's what they make it mean. That's a very go-to thing for a child's mind to make it mean. So then the rush is to be smart, right? And to prove you're smart and to prove, and then our IQ test and a lot of our schooling is around this reinforcement. Oh, yes, you're very smart. You can do this one thing or these two things very, very well. And so then that becomes the reward system of like, see, I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm going to go do the smart. And then our society, as they grow and they get older and they find interests, and it's an obscure thing, but they can make it work and has applications. And there's VCs that show up to fund this. And look, now this thing that I've created or was a part of, or I was, found the people to do it, but I'm taking all the credit for it, or I'm stealing it from over here so I can take the credit for it. So everybody can call me a genius. I've been this myth building of being smart and being genius and being somehow, I just have this intellect. It's all intelligence. That got rewarded. And the money came in and affirmed for especially these technocrats, confirmed, yes, you are a genius. So now we're in this real closed loop of reinforcement that has nothing to do with anything but their own fucking narcissism. There's never any development in the mind, in the neurology for connecting with others and understanding others and developing those pathways towards empathy, which has barriers to begin with, because they don't get it. They don't understand other people. But what they're obsessed with is intelligence. So what is the ultimate interest or thing that these guys have developed that's rewarding them with the most money so that they be on track to be the first billionaires? Artificial fucking intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just going to make the intelligence. So now they've gone from geniuses to gods.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to get real about what that means, what we're dealing with that type of human being, of which we have several. And we've rewarded them with unlimited and unfettered access to all of the planet's resources to do with what they will. And they got that by owning politicians. They got that, some of them, thanks to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
And we just gloss right over that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being conspiratorial. These are facts.
He did it through the literary agent.
Peter Thiel. These are facts. So those are the minds that we're up against. And let me tell you something. If all the farmland is gone, they don't care. They want it gone if it means they get the reward for having the intelligence. That is the only loop that matters to them. They don't have an ability to actually acknowledge or see anything sacred outside of themselves because they've become gods to themselves. They are the only thing that is sacred. We can look out and see a blue whale breaching and be moved to tears, or elephants, the natural world, the beauty of the natural world, or a loving relationship and a connection with a person, or time spent with your parents, right, as they're aging, like a time with your children, not just because you drag them along the prop because they're the same emotional age as you at 5, right? Or they're just a mini version of you. That's just the narcissistic loop. We have an experience of that, and real faith and real beauty and real art. That's where that all comes from. The acknowledgement and the humility in the face of creation. These men don't have that. In fact, all of what I just described for them is in the way. So I'm not interested. I'm not interested in anything but stopping them.
Yeah.
This is the danger of our times. And it's important that we acknowledge and understand and are upfront with the neurology that we're dealing with, not to vilify it globally and paint some broad stroke, but to identify that we are dealing with men who cannot empathize, cannot acknowledge anything sacred other than themselves, have no interest in other human beings at all. The proof that they have no interest in other human beings or life itself is that they, in their quest to become gods, they actually made and manifested, and now are willing to sacrifice all life for artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know what you want to call that in terms of a topic. I just can't not call it out anymore. And I know it's like, oh, people thinking, oh no, we can stop this. We can. Okay, I'm interested in the plans that will make it so that it can be stopped, so that these men can be stopped. Because right now, there's absolutely nothing stopping them.
No.
Absolutely nothing stopping them. And their vision and their dream, because their perception is they're going to be okay. You often say to me, Greg, well, it's not going to work out well for them either if they kill the planet. And I'm like, really? Is it really not going to work out? Why is it not going to work out for them? They've got bunkers. They've got spaceships. They probably have pods. They'll go to the space station. These are people who don't care if they eat paste that's just amino acids. They don't care.
Because somebody has to make the fucking paste, because they're not going to know how to do
They'll
that.
have robots make the fucking paste.
No, somebody has to make the robots.
Right. They're literally planning for what I'm describing.
I know they are.
That is their utopia.
Yeah.
So it's there's the things that would stop you are not what's going to stop them. In fact, they're the things that they're trying to make happen. They're trying to kill the planet.
Yeah.
They want it dead because creation, women, let's just go there. Those are all confrontational things to them that force them to look at the fact that maybe they're not the smartest thing around. Maybe there's shit that they don't understand. They're going to kill everything they don't understand, because the fact that something that they don't understand exists actually is the conflict that they've never been able to handle. Because they must have an understanding of everything. Because the worst thing that can happen to them is that they don't understand what's going on. We wouldn't be where we are right now if what I just described wasn't how they came into the world and what happened to them as children and how they internalize the world and their place in it as children. This is what it is to be a neurodiverse child with that particular footprint that Elon Musk has and Jeff Bezos has and all these people has, is they cannot handle being confronted with the fact that they don't understand what's going on, or that there's something that they don't get. They don't get the art. They don't get the music. They don't get it. They don't get it, and that can't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, a couple follow-ups, because that was good. You said a lot. And
I said a lot.
No, okay. It's good. It's good you said it. I think you expressed it, you articulated it very well, because you've been running through this a couple times. I think this is the best.
It's really hard to get.
No, because it's also,
get it across.
Just to be very, very clear, she is not saying, we are not saying everybody that's on the spectrum is somehow like these guys.
Oh, for God's sakes, no.
Yeah, but I just want to say that very, very upfront. That's not the case at all. It's a very, very specific type of person, though.
Right. And a lack of nurturing that happened. Right. Yeah. And instead of nurturing and trying to, let's work on, let's try to understand some of this stuff, or let's make it okay that you don't. And let's help you express what you do. Yeah. Right. Instead of that, let's be interested in what you're interested in. And you're going to have to figure out how to make space within yourself to be interested in what I'm interested in, because we need each other, right? This is the way it works, right? With being a human being, right? There was none of that. It was just, look how smart he is. Look how smart Elon Musk, from his mother. Like, he's special. He's a genius. Let's reward the genius, the genius. Oh, you killed an animal. Oh, look at what you did. Let's reward, whatever it is.
Too much carrot and not enough goddamn stick.
They were cooked into becoming real sociopaths, if not psychopaths. I think
that's the key.
They were cooked into it. They were cooked into it.
And they've gotten to the point where they celebrate
the money, the society. Yes, this society, the way we are here, rewarded them to the point to where they could completely detach.
Mark Andreessen went on and said that empathy is wasteful. People shouldn't be empathetic. Like, there's a movement within this group of people to not only to not have empathy, but to disparage people who do.
Yeah.
Sam Altman was talking about how in the future they're going to monetize intelligence and make it so people have to get subscriptions to be the greater intelligence. And of course, I forget if it was Fortune or Forbes or one of those magazines, put him on the cover in a very, very emo shot of him in black and white, looking all thoughtful. And it's like, this is not helpful. These people are fucking sociopaths, and they're going to end life on Earth. And I think it's an interesting point about having to, the need to want to be smart all the time and to know everything and to not be wrong. I don't like being wrong. I don't think anybody enjoys being wrong, but there was an interesting quote that the coach of the Thunder, the basketball team, said to his players, which is champions fail and losers hide, and I think that's a good way to look at it.
Champions fail and losers hide. Yeah.
And the people that are genuinely intelligent are not afraid to make mistakes and to fail, I think.
No.
And understand how much, or rather how little, they actually know. That's to me, there's the mark of
the person who thinks they're the smartest person in the room, I guarantee you is not.
Leonard Leo. Elon. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this fits here, maybe this fits after, but we were talking also about like the nature of wealthy people and this oligarch class. And it seems to me that it's just very different now than what it was 150, 100 years ago. You know, you had these guys, like, I was thinking about it after we were talking about the Met Gala last week. And, you know, Bezos is doing this. Well, it's like, well, every museum is named for some oligarch from that time. There's the Guggenheim, and there's the Whitney, and there's, you know, well, you walk from Rockefeller Center to go to the place, and then you go to Carnegie Hall. Yeah. And it's all these people. But what those people did is that they built opera houses, and they built museums, and they endowed music. JP Morgan spent so much time and money in Europe buying up artwork that his friends made fun of him. They thought he was crazy. Yeah. But that's what he liked to do with his time and his money. And then he put all the artwork in museums. John D. Rockefeller, who still, I believe, by percentage of GDP is the most wealthy American who ever lived, got tired of people asking him for money, not because he didn't want to give money away, because he didn't want to get made a fool of. So he needed a better vetting process, and he literally created modern philanthropy as a more efficient means of giving money effectively and efficiently away to those who needed it most. He invented that. These people I don't think it would occur to them to do that. They would have no obligation to do that. They would not, I don't think it would even penetrate their brains to even think in those terms. And here we are defending Rockefeller and Morgan. And these are people that weren't the greatest of people.
They weren't the greatest, but they understood at that point I don't know if they were here now, what they would be. But at that point, there was an understanding that society needed to be built and for success, right? In business, that it wasn't just about giving back. It was, we have to build society in a very forward-thinking way. We need to educate our citizens. We need to do all this stuff, right? We need to preserve the arts. We need to do all these things. These guys, just to be really clear, they're not interested in society. They're not interested in other human beings. They're not. And they really do envision, really, truly, truly, truly do. And I've heard it from a couple of their mouths. They don't believe that mankind is going to make it. And so they haven't for a very long time, for at least 20 years, maybe, is it 2026? Yep. And so whenever it was that Al Gore was running around doing the Inconvenient Truth was when those salons happened, right? Noah Hawley wrote about one with Bezos that he went to, right? There's these little think tanky things, and they paid. And these were just billionaires at the time. I don't even think they were 100 billionaires at all. So it was sort of decided by these very specific particular men that, you know what, it's this whole human experiment thing, and the planet itself isn't going to work out. But that's okay. We don't care. We'll get our bunkers, and we'll have our, we'll do surveillance state and maybe colonize Mars. That's kind of a fantasy, but it doesn't matter because it helps me for a lot, it helped him rip off a shit ton of money out of the US government and get these, develop a space program, all this shit, right? The grift was also in all of that because nothing mattered. It's also that nothing matters other than their own dick measuring intelligence contest, right? And their own God status. Oh God, I can't believe it.
The other thing,
I can't believe
I know
that we as a society have allowed these goobers to do this to us and the natural world. It's just, it's sad. It's really sad.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a good transition for the next thing, so I'm just going to play that.
Well, I do. Okay, so the next thing is, I want to read to you guys. So, does anybody realize that the stock market is? We'll do this almost like a flip.
You're going into the third topic. We have the media.
Oh God!
You just forgot because it's like almost 9 o'clock.
Okay, talking about somebody who's a sociopath that doesn't have any empathy. doesn't give a shit about human beings and is just all in on the grift.
Drain the reflecting pool, I want it painted blue. As blue as tidy bowl, dissolved into the loo. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. Burn all the Epstein files so nobody knows. The big bruise on my hand looks like it's painted blue. Find me a body double like Netanyahu. I see the bottleneck at the Straits of Hormuz. Iran is uglier than the wife of Ted Cruz. The gilded Oval Office glitters like fool's gold. MAGA stupidity is shocking to behold. One day I'll fall asleep and I'll never come to. Until then everyone feels like they're painted blue. Drain the reflecting pool, I want it painted blue. The country's in the red, so we must paint it blue. I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. Burn all the Epstein files so nobody knows. Hey, I wanna see it painted. Painted blue, painted blue. As blue as my lips, as blue as the sky.
You guys are so weird. It was so weird when I got that audio file before Chunk animated it and did his stuff with it. I was like, what possessed you to just go like,
I don't know, but I did it and it sounded funny, so I kept it. I couldn't find my kazoo. I was going to do the kazoo.
Oh, I liked. Yeah, and you know what? Let's just talk about. I just want to say this one thing about that reflecting pool. It doesn't talk about the stuff that doesn't not getting it, right?
Yeah.
Not getting it that's a monument. That's an art installation as well. It's supposed to see the sunset and the different seasons, everything reflecting in that water, and the monuments reflecting in that water. It's not a swimming pool at Mar-a-Lago. He saw it and really thought it was a swimming, like like my swimming pool. Like it's just so base. It's so basic. He's such a basic dude. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's
all
a
right,
basic dude. He's a basic dude. He did basic. Put this on his. This is a pool. You know, he wanted it to be a pool, and
nobody else made it blue. It's like it's not supposed to be blue, dumbass.
No, it's not supposed to be blue.
It's not about. It's not. We're not at a club. It's art. It's supposed to reflect. It needs to reflect. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
I just want to read some stuff. Okay. So look, this is the other thing that you and I go on and on about back and forth. Okay. Where you say things, I say a thing, you say it's unsustainable. And I'm like, is it though? Is it?
I've been saying that for 10 years. So
yeah. Really? Is it? So it's sort of like questioning, yes, there's the stock market today and the economy the way it is, and all the indicators are all pointing towards an epic bubble implosion, possible hyperinflation, all of this stuff, right? Just worse than Depression era stuff, right? Like one would think. It's just like, you know, these companies that are getting these valuations they don't have some of them don't even have the product to match that. And they're every week, right? They're worth several hundreds of billions, if not, I think is Anthropic going towards $1 trillion valuation? Right. Every time you check back in before these,
I don't know. We should ask Claude. Hey, Claude, how much are you worth, buddy?
Oh, it's like Claude was the fourth wife of the billionaire relative that ended up taking all the money. It's a weird name, Claude. Every time I hear Claude, I think of that. Oh God, it's always the fourth wife, right? It's just always like just bankrupts everything, takes it all. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that it's so divorced from reality. That I kept saying to you, I said, I think it's just like 3 people own all the stock market and they're just amping it up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have that. We have all these economic indicators, but we also have at the same time, now that I sort of looked at, I'm like, well, what's going on with this? Let's look a little bit more into who does own most of the stock market and what are most of the stocks? Where's all this valuation coming from? What the fuck is this, right? So let me just read you. So you'll understand why all of these, and this is not a tremendous amount of them, but there's the technocratic gajillionaires, right? That were at the inauguration, right? Like, what was that? And everyone's like, God, look at them. They're all there. Look at Zuckerberg and Bezos. They're all there. Oh, they're all showing up. God, they're all kissing everyone thought, because they want to get their deals and they're kissing his ass. And let's see. Let me read this. So you know what I asked? Because I wanted to know that. I was like, maybe it's all AI. Maybe it's all connected to AI. And we're just waking up to it and it's too late because they've already built all these fucking data centers that could be in and of themselves a grift, a way to drain all the energy because what do you know? They own the energy companies. They bought the energy companies as well as some of these small energy companies. But who's paying it? Our bills are going to go through the roof. They're just siphoning more money out of the American public, calling it this thing that needs to be had. And, only one tiny little corner of it is doing all the AI processing. Who knows what the rest of it is other than to just suck underneath and bleed us dry. It reminds me of There Will Be Blood, right? That Daniel Day-Lewis, he was like, sucked all the oil out from underneath everybody else. And they paid for all of his money and didn't even know it because he stole from them. So here we go. Let's just see. Let's just see this. I asked AI about AI to get answers about AI from AI. Okay.
Is AI that self-reflective?
So I asked the thing, how much of the market is connected to the AI industry, which is just since 2022, right? The market.
Meaning the stock. You mean the stock market? You mean the stock market?
Stock market, yeah.
Okay.
As of May 2026, the artificial intelligence sector has become extremely dominant, with AI-exposed companies representing approximately 40 to 45% of the S&P 500's total market capitalization. Half of the market capitalization is connected to AI. That's why all the money people are in this too, guys. That's why you've got these heads of Merrill Lynch and heads of all these Goldman Sachs and everything, because they have reconfigured all of their formulas and portfolios for everybody's money to be hitched to the AI wagon. So that cannot fail, or the whole thing comes down.
It seems to me like this is like tulips, except if tulips also used up all the potable water and ended life on Earth.
It's true.
The
AI 8 are NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Broadcom, and Tesla have driven nearly all market gains, with NVIDIA alone exceeding 8% of the total index weight in Q1 2026. One company, 8% of the total index. Performance gap. In the 3 years leading up to early 2026, the AI-driven S&P 500 returned over 70%. So 70% return.
That's pretty good. I'm not a money guy, but that seems like it's high.
While an ex-AI version of the index returned roughly half of that, highlighting that the broader market is sluggish compared to AI leaders. The earning dominance, AI-related companies are expected to account for over 60% of the S&P 500's earning growth in 2025. This is an older one, and continue as the primary driver in 2026. So that was happening in 2025, that article. Here's an article.
So when you say 70% return, that means if I invest $100, I'm going to get $70 back, and it'll be worth $170 in a year or something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Because I think Bernie Madoff's return for his like bamboozled stuff was like 10
or 15. Yeah.
And everyone thought that was wonderful. Okay. Just for context. Yeah.
Yep. Corporate spending on AI is accelerating, with major cloud computing companies planning to invest over $700 billion in 2026, up from roughly $450 billion in 2025. I think that number is going to keep going up as we get through the year. JP Morgan analysis indicates that the the trading on AI accounts for more than half of the S&P 500 weight, which we saw that again. So everybody's coming back with this number. It's half of the fucking S&P. And then here's sort of a breakdown. Semiconductors, 18.2%. Hyperscalers, 17.8%. That's Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google. Hardware, 10%, a little over. Software, 8%. This concentration has led to comparisons with past bubbles, such as the 2000.com peak, as the top 10 stocks now represent a higher portion of the index than they did during that era. So just even the top 10 stocks are outperforming the bubble before the
Isn't
burst
this called like the Hindenburg something? It's called the Hindenburg. It's called the Hindenburg something, because the humanity.
Yeah.
That's how it ends.
There's an article in Finance in Yahoo Finance that was interesting, that sort of summarizes all this, titled, if anyone wants to look at this and read this, AI swallows Wall Street, stocks hit record 45% when it hit 45%. That was I think a couple of months ago. So you think any of the banking firms, any of the hedge funds, any investment bankers, any of these people, these powerful people are going to let 50% of all of their wealth and their clients' wealth just evaporate?
I don't know. Let's go back in time to one of the Whitneys in December of 1929. What do you think? Oh, whoops. Sorry. Too busy jumping off the skyscraper. Oops.
But the other part of this is the concentration of wealth.
Yeah.
So when you look at who owns the stock market, and we can look into that, like who's invested in that. And I'm sorry, I don't have this ready but I looked at it a couple times this week because I just couldn't get past it. It's much less than the top 10% of our population owns 96% of the stock market in terms of all stocks being traded. So there's a 96%, and I think it's like 8% of our population, or the top, somewhere between the top 5 and top 10%. Then you go into that very elite group that owns 96%. It's not the rest of us. We're the 4%. Like your pensions or your 401ks. It's not. We're talking individuals and hedge funds and institutional stuff. Then you go up into that, like Berkshire Hathaway. I don't think. Yeah. Maybe it is institution Berkshire Hathaway, or it could just be the Warren Buffetts. But now we get into individuals.
He sold all his stocks.
He didn't sell them all. He's not putting more in.
Oh, is that what it is?
Berkshire Hathaway still has what it has. He pulled out of the market in that sense. So he is very liquid. The top of that, somewhere between 5 and 10. I think it's 5%. 1% owns 50%. And those are individuals. So that's like, I don't know, 20 guys.
Doesn't seem good. But
it's not good for us. It's going to be catastrophic for us. I don't think it's going to touch them at all.
Oh, well, but historically it will.
I don't think so. I think they can just keep it where it's at.
We were talking before, and how do you, after trillionaire comes guillotine. That's what happens historically. There is a level of wealth that gets so concentrated that the rest of the people can't eat, and they, it's that old saying: when people run out of food to eat, they'll eat the rich. And that's what's coming for these. I don't know that they can understand that, but
I don't know that it is.
And this isn't a threat or anything. This is just
no. I'm not. This isn't a defense. I just don't know that it is.
It may not be. You may be right.
How would
because this is the thing. What they have is money. They have shares in something that people don't like, and they have money which isn't even real. Money isn't real. It's a magical thing that we all collectively decide to believe in, and that's what gives it value. And if all of this money funds out of the system, and this guy's worth $1 trillion of this thing, and this guy's worth $1 trillion of that, and the rest of the people ain't worth shit, people will stop believing in the system. I work in a coin place. You know how many old coins there are that have Zippo value anymore because people stop believing in it? It gets demonetized and it loses its value overnight. This is what happens. We're in the United States. We're really, really lucky that this isn't a problem for us, because the dollar is the currency reserve, and there's the petrodollars. And oh yeah, by the way, the Federal Reserve, which was instituted after 8 gazillion bank failings, stopped all of them after it was formed. So we've had very, very little volatility, even during the Depression and these other time periods, relative to other places and other countries. That doesn't mean that we're immune from it. We haven't had kings in this country either. We haven't had emperors. We haven't had dictators. We have one now. Now. Just because something has always been the case doesn't mean it's always going to stay that way.
That's true. And I don't know. I think they have enough. I don't know that there's been a time where so few people have had so much in resources. They can literally leave the atmosphere. That's how much wealth.
And I say good riddance.
Well, yeah, good riddance, but it doesn't mean that, they can do it for 5 or 10 years while there's nothing left for, there's something, I'm not trying to be the dystopian sci-fi writer, I hear, but there's something, there's some kind of fail-safe. There's a fail-safe switch that has been agreed upon that I can kind of feel underneath this. There's something we're not seeing, and I feel like we're seeing a lot of it. I don't think they're that dumb. I don't think they're intelligent the way they think they're intelligent. But I don't think they're that dumb to not. I think these are people who are so involved in themselves, so obsessed with themselves, that I believe they would have built bunkers because they have a knowledge that they're probably going to need it. And need it because a sort of a mass destruction plan is a sub-plan of the broader plan. There's something.
Good luck getting to the bunkers if that happens when the time comes. That's all I'm saying. Good fucking luck.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Maybe he really did build the man in the tube, Elon Musk. Maybe he did invent that, and he's got that ready to go. I mean,
the fact that the people that are in charge of this.
Which people in charge of what? Wait, you have to describe the people in the this.
Yeah, no, the people in the this, No, the people that are in charge of the companies, of the AI companies.
Yeah,
Sam Altman, who is insane,
taking him to court for raping her whole fucking life.
That guy who's a charlatan. Who's a charlatan. Elon Musk, whatever. Zuckerberg looks like the staid normal elder statesman in this group, which is saying something. Alex Karp, who can't comb his hair, Peter Thiel. These are not people that
all I can think
I
of
trust to drive the car here. I wouldn't let them drive my actual car. I the idea that they're in charge of the economy. Yeah, I don't trust that so much. I don't know.
Oh, it's very, very dangerous for us. I just don't know that it's dangerous for them. We're not
ultimately everything that's dangerous for us is also dangerous for them.
This is where you and I always diverge. It's interesting.
Yeah, okay. Well, what is that?
Yeah, I like it.
What do you need? What do you need in life? I'm in my bunker and I'm going up to get a can of peas and my fucking ladder gives out and I fall and I break my ankle. What am I going to do? There's no robot. There's no robot electricity that's going to set my ankle. I have to go to a goddamn hospital. But I can't go to the hospital because all the doctors are dead because I killed them.
No, I think no. They
need doctors.
They're going to take a doctor with them. They're going to take the shit with them. They're going to have the stuff. They're going to have the tech. They've got whole hospitals built out. No, this is where we're different.
Well, what about time out.
Okay. Well, you're like
what doctors? The penile implant doctor that was advising that guy.
For sure, the penile implant
Dr. Oz
is in the bunker. Dr. Oz is definitely in the bunker. He's in the bunker.
If Dr. Oz is in the bunker, I am not going in the bunker.
Dr. Drew is in the bunker for sure. Yeah.
So this is the thing. Like, okay, there's
the
these medical.
Are in there.
None of these people know a damn. Like, it's not. There's not enough critical mass to sustain life in that circumstance. There just isn't. If you have 27 millionaires or in a bunker, everyone's going to die on planet Earth, including them.
No, I don't. I think they have a whole. Maybe that's what's underneath these data centers are whole cities for them.
What women are going to go in the bunker with these losers?
They don't need a woman.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do. They need a woman for many reasons.
These are not men who are interested in women.
They are interested in women insofar as women can birth babies. Elon Musk has 27,000 children, and apparently, according to Grimes told okay.
These are the things that Grimes told Azalea. These are the things that you are important to you or you think are vital to you. I'm telling you, these dudes, all they want is their VR headset and a sex bot and, a bunch of paste to eat and just inject it into their veins and feed them into it and then just lie there. They only need themselves to be satisfied.
In a sense, they do. In a sense, they do.
That's it.
But they can't only function on themselves because somebody has to make the paste. The robot's going to break down. What are they going to do? If this was a movie, it would end that they have all this shit and they're stuck in there and nobody can tie their shoes and therefore the entire thing collapses. It would be some super basic thing that none of the oligarchs know how to. We have to wash a dish. I don't know what to do. That's how.
Well, remember Noah Hawley wrote that great thing. I think everybody should read it about the time that he went to Bezos, bought out the this Biltmore, very gorgeous hotel in Santa Barbara, Montecito, and hosted his salon there. Right, like it's like they do these retreats. Yeah, this was several years ago, and Noah Hawley writes about this, and he was there with his wife. And they're like, what are we doing here? Oh my God. It's like Oprah and all this stuff. And these things, these thinkers, and they're there to feel special about themselves. Well, his wife slipped and broke her arm, like hurt herself. And when Bezos found out about that, he was like, oh, horrified. Not that someone had hurt themselves, no concern for her being hurt, but it was not part of the vibe. It wasn't part of the thing. And they had to go and never were invited back. He had to just take his broken wife away and don't tell anybody, get out of here, go. Right. So That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Well, at least a lot of the Bezos money did go to charitable causes after he got divorced and his now ex-wife gave it all.
Mackenzie did it. Yeah.
All right. We should move on. We should move on to the next.
Oh, God. I can't talk about them anymore, but we needed to say those things. So I'm glad we did. Okay. Hang on. Last one. Wait. We have
media. It's so late, though.
No, we already did the media.
We didn't do the media. We didn't talk about the media at all. That's okay. We can talk about the media next week.
Reflecting pool? What media?
The ABC News.
Oh, the media. I thought you meant our media. Oh,
no,
God.
Our
This is
media.
how unprepared we are.
No. You were saying.
Yeah.
Put the clock on. Put the timer on.
It's on.
Okay. You were saying you watched the ABC Evening News with David Muir, expecting, just out of curiosity, to see what the evening news telecast was like.
National news, yeah.
National news, not the local news. And what was it?
Regular broadcast, ABC.
Mm-hmm. What did you see?
I hadn't seen that in a long time. And so I saw it, and I was like, oh, I'll watch this. What's who's? I've never even seen David Muir's show. Let's see this. Let's see what broadcast. It was. I might have missed the top of the show. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it was a segment on a cop that had been attacked by a man that was trying to stab him, but his bulletproof vest saved him, something like that. But you saw it from the camera, and it was like a local story, but it was big. It was like, can you believe this happened to a police officer? Kind of like, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This guy's mentally ill, and this is the dangerous job. But it was the whole big thing, whole huge thing on this. Not talking to the police officer, not anything, just showing that footage like Cops from the 80s and 90s, that TV show, Bad Boy, what you gonna do? It was that.
Okay.
And then another next segment was also from a cop cam where kids were doing something, and the police officer drew his gun and almost shot, but didn't, and it all worked out okay. And they kept having to show that cop cam over and over and over again. And then the next segment was about two small plane crashes, one into a house, and showing the pictures of footage because someone caught it on their camera. Everybody was okay. No,
Mm-hmm.
And then the dad got the kids out. Wait till you hear. And they went to commercial and came back and back to that story. So these are four fucking stories, right? That had their own segment. And another one was another small plane that crashed in a field. I don't know, somewhere.
Okay. But it was all footage. So it's like America's Scariest Home Videos is what it was.
It was America's Scariest Home Videos, of the last 20 minutes. I didn't see there was no news value in any of it, none of it. And this is the middle of everything we just covered is going on in the world. And the president is over in China doing this whole big thing, taking all the oligarchs with him. And there's a war. Oh yeah. Remember everybody, there's a war. Remember the war?
Excursion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excursion.
But that's the news that America's getting.
The 7 people that are still watching the news on the networks.
I understand, but still.
No, it's because you do depend on certainly ABC
broadcast?
News to be good. So it's like CBS is complete waste now and everything else, but it's interesting because Ted Turner passed, who created CNN, and I think that at least initially CNN was good and was a good idea, and I think was done well, at least how I remember it, in that they just talked about the news all the time, and it was just basically like the evening news but constantly. And then I think what happened was the same thing that happened at MTV, right? Like MTV, we all want to see the videos, but they realize they can't monetize that. They have to have shows. They have to have a half-hour show. They have to have an hour show. So they have the regular blocks and blah, blah, blah. And people tune in at 7, or they tune in at 8, or they tune in at 9. And I think CNN had the same problem. So they had to get rid of that format and just have shows and this guy yelling and whatever.
Punditry, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, we do punditry here, but that's our job. We're not on CNN, you know. And frankly, they should have us on. People would learn more. And it's just the same thing over and over and over and over. And I've thought about this a lot, you know, because I think the media, and rightly so, takes a lot of hits. But our media system is not designed for this. I know now they've had a lot of time to adapt.
They've had a lot of time to figure it out.
I'm not making excuses for them. I'm explaining why it is this way. It is news. The media's job is to cover news. News means something new that happened. Trump himself generates so much quote unquote news because he's a font of dumb shit and embarrassing behavior and grift. And just to report on something he does in one day takes the entire broadcast. So there's no time for them to do anything else. There's no time for them to go back in time. There's no time for them to recount what happened in the last week. Or, you know, Maduro got taken. We kidnapped the president of Venezuela and brought him to the United States, and everyone forgot about it within 3 days. Like, that's insane, right? And Epstein files kind of hanging on by the, you know, I had this problem when I wrote my book in 2018. It was like this. It's not just a fire hose of shit. It's a train. It's a locomotive that you're racing after it, trying to, you know, explain what's happening on the train, and you don't have time to stop and catch your breath and, you know, report on it. So that's one problem. And then the equal bullshit problem is crazy to me. I mean, the publisher and editorial, which there used to be a very, you know, line of demarcation between those two groups. The publisher meaning the people that bring in the money and sell the advertising and all that kind of stuff. And then the editorial side is who decides what gets in the newspaper. There used to be not much intercourse between those two sides. And that's how newspapers were always run after the, you know, the fall of William Randolph Hearst a long, long time ago, and the ascension of the New York Times. That's fading away also. So now you have these oligarchs, Jeff Bezos. Well, why can't we have this with the Washington Post? You know, well, okay, you've ruined this thing. And then these news agencies, they're conservative by nature. They're very conservative by nature, not politically conservative, just conservative in terms of trying new things and listening to new voices. And it's like the stodgy old editor with the cigar is the one that's going to set the tone, even though it's 2026. You know, we're still in this model.
I think, yes, there's still that model, but also going back to the thing you said about CNN, that is a truism. As soon as the conglomeration of media, that the barriers around news, having to, within these big media companies and legacy media itself, for it to not require a profit, but it was just sort of understood news might be a loss or break even when it came to whether you can monetize it, we can get commercials on it, whatever it might be. Its value was prior to the corporatization of news. Its value was not tied to the return on the investment was not about. It was about branding. It was about prestige. It was about having the stories, doing other things with the, you know, all of that, having access to power, having it was and being something that people relied on, trusted, and came to, and then maybe stayed and watched the rest of the if it was broadcast, watched the rest of what you had programmed for the night. But because they knew they could trust where they were coming in and what they were looking at. As soon as it became entertainment, to follow the entertainment model for commercialization, we're living in the fated outcome of that. As soon as that decision is made by the folks that are responsible for the news itself, right? As soon as that decision is made, is now we need this to make money. This needs to be an earner. Right. It needs to follow the same business model as entertainment, as all of our entertainment product. You're it's going to become propaganda. There's no other endpoint for it. You've literally defined it as propaganda in that moment. And you put a propaganda business model underneath it. It's going to end up, the content eventually will get there. And that's what we're living in right now, which is why we get the gaslighting.
Yeah. It comes with the the dawn of cable TV in general and cable news, because the broadcast networks are owned by the American people, which is why the FCC and Brendan Carr has so much power, and they threaten to take ABC's license away. That's because ABC doesn't own the license. It leases the license from the people of the United States, from the government of the United States. Right. And one of the codicils in that agreement is they have to give X number of hours per day to straight news coverage, and that news has to be balanced, fair and balanced, whatever. So those are things that happen, but that only is on the networks. It's not on the cable stations. Cable stations do whatever the fuck they want, and because they're cable stations, they do own the whatever. So it's all, and then we can always blame Reagan, because we should just blame him for most things.
We could blame him. Yeah, let's do.
He's a fucker. All right. Do we have any announcements? Do you have any announcements?
No.
I've got no announcements. Do I have any announcements?
No.
I've got nothing written down.
No
announcements. All right, real quick.
I don't want to talk about this Kash Patel all that much. Can we do it in 5 minutes?
Yes, we can do it in less than 5 minutes.
Let's hear it.
He went, because you don't know what happened. Okay.
I don't know anything, and you're going to surprise me with it. I'm not paying attention.
I'm going to read some of the story from the Associated Press, which is written by Jim Mustian, Eric Tucker, and Michael Bisecker. And the stories from yesterday. When Kash Patel visited Hawaii last summer, the FBI took pains to note the director was not on vacation, highlighting his walking tour of the Bureau's Honolulu field office and meetings with local law enforcement. Left out of the FBI's news releases was an exclusive excursion that Patel took days later when he participated in what government officials described as a VIP snorkel around the USS Arizona in an outing coordinated by the military. The sunken battleship entombs more than 900 sailors and Marines at Pearl Harbor, who died on fucking Pearl Harbor Day. Anyway.
I'm so sick of this, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The FBI did not disclose the snorkeling session or that Patel had returned to Hawaii for 2 days after his stopover. And then this is the key. With few exceptions, snorkeling and diving are off limits around the USS Arizona. The battleship, now a military cemetery reachable only by boat, has stood as one of the nation's most hallowed sites since Japan bombed it and sank it in 1941. So they basically don't let people into this thing unless they're there for some very good specific reason. And this disgusting motherfucker, I don't know. There's nothing to even say about it. I don't know.
We always want to end on a happy note. I wish we had a joke for this. It's hard because it's a grave site and it's nothing to joke about, but it did happen very long ago. Maybe enough time has gone by. There's a joke in here. It's not too soon. There's a joke in here about this guy.
This is a snorkeling. This is a snorkeling that will live in infamy. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This shamelessness.
Yeah.
This shamelessness. Look, it should. Here's the high note. If we can just figure it out, it should be easy to get rid of these people. These are not complex beings. Can't we just distract him with something? Now that we know we can distract him with the cemetery, can't we just poltergeist this guy? Can we have some ghosts show up and scare him? How can we? Maybe we can haunt them and spook them out of their jobs and send them running. This is so childlike. It's so childlike. I'm the FBI. Oh my God, I'm the FBI guy. I'm just gonna because you're the director.
He literally said at his speech, at his swearing in, he said, "Hey Pam, isn't this effing cool?" He literally said this. Isn't this effing cool? The FBI director. Effing cool. Stands for female body inspector, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It is the dumbest timeline. We're in the dumbest timeline.
We're in the dumbest
There's no
timeline.
dumber timeline. This is it. This is it.
You say that now, but I'm going to make a prediction.
No.
Next week, something even dumber will have happened. You know why I know that? Because it's happened every goddamn week since he took over the second time.
Okay, I'm going to shift the topic completely.
Okay, please do.
I keep grabbing my cheeks. It's just a natural reaction, but it makes me think of Home Alone. And I want to totally change the topic and leave everybody on a good note.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a few nights ago, there's a new Martin Short documentary. Because, there's documentaries now about folks, which is great. But it's funny. I love and always have loved Martin Short and his characters. He just makes me laugh. Silly people make me laugh.
Martin Short's
naturally silly people are, I just can't. I'll just literally, cry, laugh. But also, oh God, who's the mom? Catherine. What's her name? The mom in Home Alone.
Oh, Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, Catherine O'Hara. Because I forgot. They're very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's in this. And it's in a beautiful, incredible way, both in interviews. And it was only just probably 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, but within the last year. And then footage, he took a lot of family things. And she was like, they're very close. They were players together out of Canada. So there's all of these great people, but also just seeing her, and you see that she's frail, but it just was wonderful to see her. I just was like, oh, wow. And it's kind of neat that this is one of the last things that she did, because it's so personal. And she's just talking about how much she loves her friend and like things about him. So I just highly recommend that for everybody. Let's end on that note. Really, it's a pleasure to watch it and just sort of, and his perspective on, and he's had all these losses, but his perspective also on the industry and on failure, right? Because a lot of what we talked about tonight is about men who can't fail. They can't handle it. They can't. And this is a total opposite of a man who's, just like, oh, it's, 85% failing. It's like, that's actually my job, is to go out there, try things and just know that it's just not going to, it's like, if it works, it's like, hey, that one time it works, the little rare time it works, carries you through to the next time that it's going to work, because you're going to fail, a whole bunch more, and it just keeps failing and failing and failing and failing. And literally then they show you all the failures and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about all those failures, right? Because you remember the one or two, or several things, because he's been around so long. Anyway, it lifts you up a little bit, makes you feel, at least me, I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
No, that's good. I didn't know about. I saw the thing it was a picture of him in the newspaper, but I didn't read the thing, so I didn't know there was a documentary.
It's good. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed seeing her. And what else? What else is good out there? Have you watched any? There was something else I was telling you that, oh my God, our great friend, Rosanna, she'll just mortify and shrink if she's watching this or when she sees it. A movie she shot a while back. And I remember when she went to go shoot this movie. And then it was like, oh, it was so independent. She loves her independent films, and it's always if a script speaks to her, but it's out now. It's called Grapefruit. And it's on Amazon or Apple, but I watched it this afternoon because I was talking to her, and she's like, that movie's out. I was like, oh, stop. We're watching it right now. I got to watch this movie. Right. Because I knew what was happening around her life. And I've been waiting to see this movie. She's so good in this movie. I'm not just saying that because she's,
I'm not surprised.
She is brilliant in this movie. So, and it's such a good movie. This man, I don't recognize him, but he's the writer he is a star of it, and the director and his sort of love interest in the film, I think, is his real life spouse or partner. Oh my God, everybody's so good in it. It's great. So that just lifted up my whole afternoon. You know, when you can't handle the news or all this craziness in the world, people are making good stuff. There's good art out there. There is.
Wendell, I read Wendell Pierce, who plays Bunk on The Wire,
yeah,
is doing Othello at the Shakespeare Theater in DC.
Oh my God,
which is going to be fucking amazing.
God.
So if I contemplating driving down just to see it. So I don't know.
Yes,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. And in the meantime,
Rose,
have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend. Just turn on one of those things, or go see Othello, or find something, because you got to figure out a way to just get through all this. We just got to figure it out.
Go Knicks.
Go Knicks.